Today, I'm going to be making a video that I wish somebody had made for me when I was first getting into wholesaling real estate. I'm going to be honest with you. I got into this because I wanted to have dope shit. I wanted to live an extraordinary life. I wanted to be able to drive the cars I wanted, wear the watch I wanted, live in the kind of house I wanted. Like, that's why I got into this, okay? Yes, I wanted the time freedom. I wanted the location freedom, but I wanted to have dope shit. Okay, and one of the things I've always loved is fucking sports cars. And I wanted to have a really cool sports car. Now, when I first got into this, it was a Lamborghini. But as I actually made more money and was able to, buy cars, I ended up going with a Ferrari. Now, I could have bought a Ferrari a lot earlier in my wholesaling journey, but I wanted to make sure that I was crazy, like it didn't even make a dent to buy it, right? It didn't stress me out one bit. It was just like I bought it and I didn't even have to think about the money I was spending on it. So I was able to buy one. Let's see, I got started wholesaling at 22, and then I bought this car when I was 27. Now, since then, I also, have this car, got a Rolls Royce, Porsche, we got all kinds of things right now. But either way, when I was getting started, I wanted to know how much do I actually have to make to buy one of these cars. And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly that. How to buy a Ferrari from wholesaling real estate. And not only am I going to show you how much money you need to make, but I'm going to work with you to develop an actual plan you can follow to get to here, okay? And it's not going to take you 5 years to do it. You can implement this and get to the level you need to realistically within 1 or 2 years if you put your head down and actually do the work. And if that seems like too long to you, well then guess what? You're never going to be able to afford one of these cars. Like if you're just sitting here trying to make it big on crypto or fucking sports betting, then it's not going to happen for you, okay? You're going to have to put in some work for some time. But if you're willing to do that, here's a roadmap you can follow, okay? Step number 1 is we need to identify how much a Ferrari actually costs, okay? So the car I bought was $235,000, okay? Now, they obviously range all over the place, but I think for a beginner sports car like a Ferrari, 488 or like a Lamborghini, Huracan, something like that, about 235 grand is be good, okay? What you need to know is when you buy one of these cars, more than likely you're gonna have to put 20% down, if not more. And that's because when you actually finance these cars, they're not doing any of this 5, 10%, nothing like that. No, they want to see, especially if you don't have auto loan history, they're gonna want you to put down a lot of money. I had to put down even more than this, and I have a bunch of auto loan history. Either way, let's just say $47,000, okay? So if you put $47,000 down on a $235,000 car, interest is about 7%, and you finance it for 48 months, it'll be about $4,500 a month for that car, okay? So if we know it's $4,500 a month, we know we're gonna need $47,000 down, we need to build a budget. And Google says that a good guideline is to keep 10 to 15% of your monthly income for your car payments, okay? So if basically, if we take $44,500 and divide it by 10%, that comes out to $45,000 a month. Now you might be thinking, holy shit, how the fuck am I gonna get to $45,000 a month? Well, when you learn how to wholesale, it does not take long at all. Okay. Now I know that sounds crazy, especially if you're somebody and you're probably, you're only making, a few, maybe $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 a month. That might be like, how the fuck am I supposed to go from that to 45,000? Well, it's because you're making that money from a job and somebody is just, you're trading your time for money. Once you learn a high value skill like wholesaling real estate, and all of a sudden the amount of money you make is not directly correlated to how much time you spend doing things, you start to realize, oh shit, I can make a lot of money. Okay. So let's talk about how to actually get you to this number, to this $45,000 a month, which might sound crazy right now, but the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So let's break it down into bite-sized chunks. Well, you need to understand that here is the math between getting to any number that you want when it comes to wholesaling real estate. My average wholesale deal is $19,567. For a deal I close, out of the hundreds of deals I've done all across the country, the average amount I make per deal is about $19,500, almost $20,000, okay? So in order to get to $45,000 a month at $19,567 a deal, we need to do about 2.3 deals a month. So how do we get to 2.3 deals a month? Well, just like anything in life, I always want to follow the math. Because if I don't follow the math, I don't have a good plan, then I'm just fucking guessing. And that just guessing is a great way to get nowhere. So let's break it down even further. How do you get to 2 to 3 deals a month? Well, you need to know that as a beginner, you're going to need about 50 leads to get a deal under contract, okay? 50 people who say, yes, I'd be interested in getting a cash offer on my property is what you're going to need to get a deal under contract. And out of every single contract you get, you should expect to actually close 80% of them. What that means is out of, 1 out of every 5 contracts you get is going to fall out. Either you will put it under contract too high and not be able to sell it. There will be some unknown title issues that will prevent you from being able to close it. You won't be able to find a buyer. Something will happen roughly 20% of the time that just will not allow you to close the deal. It's part of the business. It sucks, but it's what it is. So if you expect to close 80% of your contracts, that means you're going to need to get 3.5 properties under contract every single month. Now, in order to do that, if you need about 50 leads to get a contract as a beginner, that means we need to generate 175 leads a month. All we need is 175 people every single month who say, yes, I'd be interested in getting a cash offer for their home, go through and make them an offer. So let's just say 130 days in every single month. That is just between 5 and 6 people a day you need to do that, okay? Now, there are many different ways that you could generate 5 or 6 leads a day, okay? And if you want my help in building you out a plan on how you can get there and how we can get you to these metrics where you're closing 1 in 50 leads and you're closing 80% of the deals, that's where you need to look into the virtual flip formula coaching program that I have, okay? Now, this isn't for everybody. You do need to be willing to invest in yourself. But if you're that person who wants to skip the line and get to a point where you're doing things like this, okay, right, where you're closing 1 in 50 leads, where you learn how to actually generate 50 leads, you learn how to close 80% of every contract you get, and we want to get to this point or higher, whatever your goal is, right? I mean, for me, this wasn't enough. I wanted to make more than $45,000 a month because I wanted more. That's why I have a Ferrari and a Rolls Royce and a Porsche, and I live in a 5,500 square foot mansion, so on. It's because I wanted more than that, okay? And if that's you, or even if you're just looking to close 1 deal a month, if you just want to get to the point where you're just making 100, 200 grand a year, whatever your goal is, when you're a part of the virtual flip form, or when you're part of the VFF team, we're going to go through and we're going to build a plan for you on how to get there, okay? Based on what market you're in, how much time you have to spend on this, whether you are full-time, part-time, no matter what, we're going to build a plan for you to get to your goals and where you want to be. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below where you can go ahead, answer a few short questions, and book a call with my team to talk about the next steps. But if you follow this plan and you seriously put your head down, this could be you in a couple of years, okay? But it's so important that you actually do this. You don't just need to sit down, write in a notebook, I will drive a Ferrari, I will live in $1 million house, whatever, these things. You can't just write it down. You need to build a plan. And that's what this is all about. We built a plan. Now it's just time to execute on it. And if you want my help with that, hit the link down below. Let's talk and let's get you where you want to be. Anyways, if you appreciated this video, if you found this helpful, please leave it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, please. We're at 13,000 subscribers. We need to get to 100,000, okay? Anyways, appreciate your time. We'll see you on the next one. And if you have any questions or ideas about what video I should make next, also leave that in the comments.